It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome to the Tennessee bonus hour of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are heard on 760 AM WENO here in Nashville, 730 AM KQPN in Memphis. Also, you can reach us on Twitter, Michael P. Leahy, or if you want to call in, our number 615-649-8477, 615-649-8477. Crom Carmichael. Welcome, Crom.
Greetings, kind sir.
The original All-Star panelist.
Yes.
So, Crom, it's 2 weeks and 6 days into the realization that the United States is going to survive as a constitutional republic. Isn't that a wonderful feeling?
Yes, for now. For now, you know what my thoughts are.
Yeah, I do know.
There's one thing that needs to be done to make that solid.
Well, some appointments happened over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start. I'll go in ascending order. I'll start at the bottom and then move up.
Okay.
Sebastian Gorka, our buddy Sebastian, was named as a deputy assistant to the president in charge of counterterrorism.
I hope his back's okay.
Yeah, I know. He's doing what? He's
doing those ads.
Doing those ads, yeah.
His back hurt. He could hardly walk down the stairs.
I could hardly walk down the stairs. Yeah. Neither of us are doing a very good job of imitating Sebastian. But
we
still,
do our best.
But we like Sebastian.
Yes, we do.
He's a friend of the program.
Yes, we do.
All these friends of the programs that are getting on big appointments. Then, announced Friday evening, the great Russ Vought, the former director of the Office of Management and Budget,
yes,
and now the head of the Center for Renewing America, where our buddy Jeff Clark works, renominated to run the OMB. That's beyond fantastic.
I think that's a great choice.
He's a great guy, great choice, and he'll be working very closely with our other buddies.
Doge.
Doge. I think the French call it Doge, but it's really Doge. Department of Government Efficiency. And our other buddy, Vivek Ramaswamy, who's running that along with Elon Musk. Now, I can't say Elon's our buddy. We've never met Elon.
Okay.
We're aligned with Elon.
Yes, okay.
And I gotta like anybody who is worth $350 billion, runs 6 companies, can launch a rocket and then have the booster land in the pincers.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that
pretty
guy.
clever. That's pretty good.
And who saved basically free speech in America.
Yeah.
Gotta like the guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, at the very top of these appointments,
he may be the most important African American in the United States.
Born in South Africa. True statement.
Yeah.
But the big appointment, our friend, Scott Bessent, has been named Secretary of Treasury.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'll tell you the story about this.
Okay.
So as you know, Steve Bannon was interested in the financial policies of Scott Bessent. Brilliant guy, hedge fund market guy, 100% behind Trump's agenda. Also understands the proper use of tariffs to win internationally. And we got a call from Steve and said, "Hey, Scott Bessent is a great guy. He'd make a great Secretary of Treasury. He needs a little bit of experience dealing with media. Can you have him on?" And so we've had him on. He's been our guest here several times.
Really? Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Have I ever been?
No.
Oh, boom.
No, it's not intentional.
Well, I will say this. I have heard him being interviewed on television, and he is a very, very good communicator. Completely the opposite of Janet Yellen.
Oh my gosh.
She's a terrible communicator.
And she's kind of a wah dope.
Well, she does not sound when she answers questions. She doesn't even sound intelligent.
No, she does not.
And,
she sounds like,
and her policies are not. And
she sounds like a lefty grandmother with a bad haircut.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty good. But Bessent is a terrific communicator, and I think he will be. I thought Mnuchin was a very good Treasury Secretary.
He was a good Treasury Secretary,
and I thought he was an excellent communicator, but his answers were very short. They were clear,
but short.
They were very short.
You say,
he was a difficult interview.
We never interviewed him.
And no, I mean, but I enjoyed watching him being interviewed because he always knew a lot more about the subject at hand than the person interviewing him. That was clear. It was also clear that the person doing the interviewing knew that.
Yeah.
And I think Scott Bessent is going to be very much in the same boat. And so I'm ecstatic about that choice.
So you ready for my Scott Bessent story?
Oh, please, yes.
He lives in Charleston, South Carolina, I think.
Oh, okay.
A Yale graduate, but despite that, a good guy.
And he runs a hedge fund out of Charleston?
Yeah.
What? Wow.
I think you can run a hedge fund.
You can run anywhere, but most of them are up east.
Well, he's been up in New York. He was up in New York, but he runs it out of Charleston.
Okay.
And more power to him.
All right.
So I called him up because, we've interviewed him. We're friends.
Yeah.
In the way that you're friendly with somebody you've never met who you've
right.
interviewed.
But sure.
But we've been friendly interviews.
Yeah.
So I called him up last week and I said, "Hey, Scott, I understand you're one of the finalists for Secretary of Treasury. Yeah. Can you come on my show?" I said, No. He said, "No, we're not doing that right now. But after I'm nominated, you can call me." I said, "Okay. So can I be your first radio interview after you're nominated?" He said, "Sure." Okay, so Friday night, you'll love this. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Trump's announcement goes out on Twitter because you hear all these things.
Sure.
It's going to be so and so. It's going to be so and so, but it ain't over
until
True Social sinks.
Until Mr. President says it himself.
So 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Boom, comes out on True Social. Scott Bessent is going to be Secretary of Treasury. 7:02, I call Scott. 2 minutes later.
Okay.
And he picks it up and he said, "Is this Art Laffer?" Because it's a 615 area code, right? And although we're friends, apparently he doesn't have my name plugged into his phone. Well, okay. So I roll with it. I say, "No, it's not, but it's your other friend in Nashville, Michael Patrick Leahy." "Oh, Mike, that's great." And I say, "Congratulations. Crom, the guy's a billionaire."
Okay.
I have never heard somebody as excited about getting a new job as this guy was.
Well,
he was very excited.
Let me say this. This when Obama became president, he said that he was going to fundamentally transform America, and he has spent since 2008 trying to do that, and he did everything.
Almost succeeded.
And he did everything he could to derail Trump in Trump's first administration. Susan Rice and Obama people have been running the Biden administration, but now you're going to see what I believe to be the most significant changes in a positive way of any president in my lifetime.
Exactly. Would you like to?
And much more positive than Obama's were negative.
Would you like to hear the rest of the story?
Please. Oh yes.
So I said, "Scott, remember last week when we talked?
Yeah.
And you said I'd be your first radio interview after you're nominated?" He said, "Yeah, go ahead and talk to the PR person and who we've talked with. You'll be the first." So I talked to the PR person. We had a tentative arrangement for him to be here today.
Oh, okay.
Asterisk.
Yeah.
This morning, it's not a surprise.
No.
The PR person says, "All the nominees, Mike, are locked down. You'll be the first."
Okay.
But not today.
I got it. Well, that's fair.
And we're good
Sure,
with that.
yeah.
We're good with that.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, it's fun to be able to have a phone conversation with the Secretary of Treasury nominee 2 minutes after his call. That's a lot of fun, Crom.
Well, it's I think he'll be. I think he'll be
terrific. Outstanding.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll have more with the original All-Star panelist, Crom Carmichael. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just one scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, original All-Star panelist Crom Carmichael. Our number 615-649-8477, 615-649-8477. Crom, whining, tears, all sorts of sadness over at MSNBC for any number of reasons. Of course, there's a report that the parent company, Comcast, wants to sell off MSNBC.
And a bunch of other.
CNBC,
yeah.
MSNBC, USA Today Network, I think is the others. There may be one other.
Golf Channel.
Golf Channel.
Yeah.
So they're basically putting the good ones with the bad one. They're hoping to sell them as a package. I say the bad one, MSNBC, bad financially because readership, viewership is plummeted. They don't have a way back.
And what's happening also, Michael, is that historically, these cable news outlets that didn't have many viewers still generated immense amounts of revenue because they were part of the standard cable package.
Right.
So for example, the only time I watch MSNBC and CNN is right after an election that Republicans have won. Because I enjoy.
You like to see them
I enjoy watching them be sad. I mean, I'm just being straight with you. Okay, I have a friend of mine. I had lunch with him. He said, "Well, I watch him before the election to see what they're saying." I said, "Well, I don't need to watch them before because I know what they're saying, but I do thoroughly enjoy watching them after." But having said that, their ratings have tanked. But the other thing that's happening, Michael, is young people are now not ordering cable packages.
No, who wants it?
Well, I still have a cable package,
I know, but
because I'm an old person, and people.
Well, you're young at heart, Crom.
Young at heart, but habit-wise, I more or less do a lot of things out of habit. And my son-in-law and daughter, for example, they don't have cable, but they can see anything they want to. So
Streaming.
and maybe it's through streaming, and maybe they could explain how it works, and I could drop my cable package. But younger people are dropping their cable package, and MSNBC, it's kind of like Joe Scarborough said, we had to go down to Mar-a-Lago because we have to stay relevant. Well, in order for Joe Scarborough to stay relevant, it means he was relevant, and he's not.
No, they are not relevant.
So they're not he's not relevant anymore, and this has all of these mainstream media people very, very distraught, because this election showed that their influence now is not what they thought it was up until the day of the election.
Yeah.
And they now realize that it will never be the same.
Never the same.
Never the same.
I think that's such a wonderful thing to
It
say.
is.
Crom.
It's wonderful.
And
It truly is.
it really is.
And Elon Musk, by the way, buying Twitter, also was an absolute game changer in that it changed the landscape, and it made all the other, especially social media platform companies, it called out their bias.
And you know how that started? It started as a joke on X. Somebody sent him a tweet and said, "Hey, are you thinking of buying Twitter?" He said, "Well, I might. I was just going to be kind of funny." And that's how he ended up buying it.
Okay.
Now, in the past week, when the news came out that Comcast is going to sell MSNBC,
Yes,
CNBC, there's been this back and forth. And actually, it's an idea that's gathering steam.
Well, here's my question to you, Michael. MSNBC's audience is far left, and it's small and getting smaller. So if you buy MSNBC,
What are you buying?
What are you buying? Because it's, first of all, it's yesterday's technology, and how do you then make it bigger? You've got Fox News and you've got Newsmax, who are both pretty substantial, and so how does MSNBC become relevant if he buys it?
So what'll happen is
Yep.
the tiny base of MSNBC viewers, which has been shrinking. And, some of my friends from my childhood are left of center, and they watch these people and they believe them, but they will not, if the content changes, they'll stop watching.
Right. So what I'm saying is, what is the point?
I will tell you what the point is.
Okay, please.
For several years going into the future, the carriage on these local cable operations matters, but not for very long. And so that's the value of it, basically.
But it's shrinking.
I know it.
Well, I'm saying, but what? You're buying something that's going to shrink every year over the next 10 years, down to the point where it's like a newspaper.
So here's the thing. You're quite right about all of that. My argument would be you could get it at a bargain, and then you can recreate it and amplify it using X.
Okay.
And breaking news.
Okay. Well, that'd be interesting.
And by the way, Crom,
by the way, if they do buy it, if somebody like Elon Musk, or if Elon Musk were to buy it, I will promise you that the way that contract is negotiated is that none of the existing contracts are his to bear.
Right.
And so
like Rachel Maddow's $25 million a year.
It's going to be, it'll be on the seller.
Right.
That'll be on the seller.
Right.
Not on the buyer. And,
I agree.
And so he can fire her, and they pay her off. They settle with her, and he can fire her, and then they're the ones who have to pay the money.
I've already told Elon that I am available to do the Michael Patrick Leahy show.
Okay.
1 hour a night.
All right.
Weekday nights.
Okay.
And I'll bring on my original all-star panelist, Crom Carmichael. What do you think?
It'd be fun.
We could do it.
That'd be fun. Yes,
Elon, we're available.
Yes,
and it will be good.
it'd be better than any of the that they have on there now. But all of those folks have to be absolutely. Now, first of all, when I say scared, all of them have been making a lot of money for a long time.
Yeah.
So financially, if they don't have a lot of money, including Joy Reid, if Joy Reid doesn't have a lot of money, it's because she has not invested at all wisely.
Right.
And so they're not going to be scared financially.
Mm-hmm.
Now there'll be other people who work for a nice paycheck, who are the people who work for the Rachel Maddow show.
Well, the technical people, you
No, I'm not talking about technical.
Yeah.
I'm talking about
Producer
the
types?
producer
Yeah.
types.
They're gone. They're gone.
They will have a hard time finding.
Bye-bye.
They'll have a hard time as long as they continue to have their point of view. They're going to have a hard time because the places. The power of the Democrat Party is not in ideas. The power of the Democrat Party is, as I say over and over again, is money, and they can outspend Republicans 4 or 5 to 1 in congressional races because of government employee unions. But so that's not used. I don't know if you saw where Kamala Harris spent $600 million with 4 advertising agencies in 15 weeks.
Yeah, so the real deal on all this,
Yeah.
the secret of political campaigns, it's not the candidates. It's the consulting firms.
Well,
it's
they're
the
ones,
marketing firms.
Well, yes, but Trump has changed that.
I understand.
Trump has changed that. I mean, in his campaign, this is why Kamala Harris was uniquely unfit to be president, is just this simple fact. She campaigned for 15 weeks. Mm-hmm. She spent $1.5 billion.
Is that with a B?
Yes, $1.5 billion. She had, in 15 weeks, she had an overhead, that's an executive, that's her corporate staff, of $50 million. Okay, and ended up minus $20 million. Donald Trump, on the other hand, ran a campaign for 22 months. He spent $350 million total. He spent $10 million on corporate, what you would describe as corporate overhead.
Right.
In 22 months, and he ended up with cash in the bank. Now, if you're
I love that story.
Yeah, if you're asking somebody, and then I've had people who kind of lean left. They say, yeah, but Kamala Harris wasn't the one responsible for her campaign. And my answer is, no. The candidate is absolutely responsible for picking the people who run his or her campaign.
Right.
And so at any rate, these networks now. Think of all the advertising, political advertising that they're now not going to get.
Yeah.
That's going to be shrinking and shrinking and shrinking because their viewership is getting to be so small.
So, not that she would have called me for advice, not that I would have offered the advice, but if Kamala Harris had called me and I had offered advice, the very first thing I would have told her is, look, all that Biden campaign staff up in Wilmington? Fire them now and set up your own operation, right in Washington, D.C. But she was, all the people that were running the campaign were the Biden people.
Well, but she's not capable of doing any of the things that you just suggested that she did.
I understand.
I mean, and this is why you would not hire, a bank would not hire her to be a loan officer, to make credit decisions.
No.
I mean, truly, she's not qualified to make credit decisions, and yet she thinks that she
and yet she thinks
and she came close. Yeah. I mean, we can say Trump has a mandate because when you win the popular vote and you win the electoral vote by a large margin, you have a mandate,
and he has a mandate.
And further evidence of his mandate is that in the last 3 weeks, his approval rating he's up, as you point out,
59%,
as you point out earlier in the show.
Don't you love that?
I love it.
I do too. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about Pam Bondi's agenda.
Excellent.
I think it's outstanding as Attorney General. We'll be back with more after this. say a few words about our friends at the Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road. The Nashville Pizza Company in Franklin reminds us that the current economic times have been tough on many families in our area, and many are finding it hard to make ends meet. Your donations of clothing or canned goods can make a difference for a family in need. During this holiday season, give from the heart so others can have a new start. That's courtesy of our friends at Nashville Pizza Company, 2176 Hillsborough Road in Franklin. They are always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it. Believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed
This
by
summer,
Donald
never
Trump.
leave pets in vehicles while running errands. Even with windows cracked, 80 degrees can shoot up to 120 degrees, causing heat stroke, dehydration, and even death. So keep pets hydrated, shaded in cool areas, or just leave them at home. That's from Kathy, Candy, and the staff at Mutts Cuts Grooming, the people with warm hearts for those with cold noses. For your pet's grooming needs, call 931-645-9220. That's 931-645-9220 for Mutts Cuts Grooming in Clarksville, Tennessee at 1479 Tiny Town Road.
Hey there, this is Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store. As a proud sponsor of this show, you may have heard Michael Patrick Leahy mention us a few times over the past 4 years. But today, it's me on the radio telling you how pleased we are to be associated with Michael Patrick Leahy and his dedication to the highest levels of professional journalism. Michael Patrick Leahy has been threatened with jail time in bringing the true facts about that Nashville Covenant shooting to his listening audience. Michael Patrick Leahy, you keep doing what you're doing, and we here at the Glock Store will keep sponsoring your show for the good of Nashville and the entire country. And I'm personally inviting all of your listeners to come visit and shoot at the Glock Store. It's where Michael Patrick Leahy learned to shoot a gun for the first time and where he bought his own personal Glock 19. I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of the Glock Store here in Nashville, just minutes from the airports, worth the drive from anywhere, and a proud sponsor of Michael Patrick Leahy and the Tennessee Star Report.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, original All-Star panelist, friend for over 3 decades, Crom Carmichael.
Wishing it were only 2. but it's over 3.
The reason you're wishing it was only 2
I wish we
isn't
were
because we had a bad decade
No.
as friends. No, it's because we'd rather be younger.
That's exactly right. Can't do anything about that, though.
Not a thing can be done about that. All right, Crom. So Trump has, in 2 weeks and 6 days, nominated all 18 cabinet officers.
Okay.
One had a bit of a kerfuffle.
Yep.
Matt Gaetz was nominated in a surprise.
Yes.
As Attorney General. He went up to the Hill, talked to senators, and realized there's not enough votes to confirm me.
Right.
And so
he did the right thing.
He did the right thing, withdrew, and less than 7 hours later, it's almost as if he had it planned.
One never knows.
One never knows, because it's Donald Trump, who always surprises.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, you can never predict, which is one of his terrific assets.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
So he picks Pam Bondi.
Yes.
To be the Attorney General. Now, Pam, she's a graduate of the University of Florida and Stetson University Law School.
Okay.
Which is a beautiful law school located just north of St. Pete in Florida, St. Petersburg in Florida.
Right. Okay.
And so she was for 18 years a prosecutor in the Attorney General's office of Florida. Then she ran for Attorney General in Florida and won for 2 consecutive terms.
Okay.
Then she worked on the Trump defense team.
Okay.
This is someone who knows her way around the courtroom.
Yes. Yeah, and I loved it when I don't remember who it was, but on CNN or MSNBC said that Pam Bondi is much more dangerous than Matt Gaetz as Attorney General because she's, in his words, because she's competent. And so she will be.
So
confirmed.
let me do a caveat on that person's comment.
Please.
Experience would be the word I would use.
I know, but that's not the word he used.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that as an attorney, I mean, he was a graduate of William and Mary Law School. He practiced law for 8 years. I don't think it was prosecutorial law. I would say she has much more experience in the kinds of things that you would expect an attorney general to do.
Well, but not only that, she's after all of the complaints about Matt Gaetz being lacking experience, not being competent, and all these other things, picking Pam Bondi, she is all the things that he is not. Plus, she's also just as ferocious, but in a different way. But here, let me ask you a couple of questions, Mike. She'll be confirmed.
Yes.
Now,
there's not a doubt in my mind.
She'll be confirmed. Now, there are two issues that are outstanding. One is Judge Marchant in New York has said that he's going to and I think he's allowing the Trump people to offer
argument to dismiss.
Argument to dismiss. Let's assume for purposes of discussion that he listens to the arguments and refuses to dismiss. The question is, what should Pam Bondi do? Because we as a country do not need to have a president with that hanging over his head.
At all, in any regard.
It needs to be.
It needs to be over.
It was a bogus suit, and if they won't dismiss it, if they want to continue to maintain that it is serious, then they need to be, all of them need to be investigated under a RICO statute.
Yeah.
And the grand jury needs to be convened in some place similar to Cookeville, Tennessee.
I agree completely.
Because it is a national issue, so the Justice Department ought to be able to pick any place in the nation to convene the grand jury, and she ought to be very public and say, I hope to get a jury that is as fair-minded as the jury that Donald Trump had in New York, because I believe in equal treatment under the law.
I love
and
it.
And then just stick with that line. Won't they be biased? They say they'll be the same as the New York jury, and if that was good enough for the Democrats, then it'll be the same thing. But I am always willing to negotiate a settlement with the other side if they will acknowledge what they did was wrong. If we're going to take it this far, they're either going to be tried or they're going to dismiss the case and they're going to admit that what they did was political. Because we need to stop this.
They need to do that.
They need to do it because these people need to be at least terribly embarrassed, and they need to lose their jobs.
I would say at least A, terribly embarrassed, B, lose their jobs.
And they need not I don't care if they're incarcerated, if they will admit what they did, and if they will then resign from their jobs. Mm-hmm. Because this type of behavior, it's a little bit like this woman in Buck County who was one of the vote counters.
Election county commissioner.
Yes.
Buck County, Pennsylvania.
Yes, who counted votes and publicly said, I'm going to count votes that the courts have told me not to count because I have the right to break the law because other people have broken the law.
That's what was her argument.
That was her argument, and she said it publicly. And now, after it's all over, she has profusely apologized. It doesn't matter. She broke the law. She needs to be investigated. And if what she said she was doing is proven to be true, she needs to be indicted and she needs to go to trial. And she needs to pay a price. And this is not about vindictiveness. Punishment, there are three reasons to punish people. One is to protect the public from them. One is so that other people won't do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And the final one is retribution. Mm-hmm. In this case, and they don't have to be all three. It can be any of the three. In this case, what we need to stop is the use of the law to try to win elections. And so the people who have been engaged in trying to use the law to win the last election, which is the first time in history that somebody has tried to do that, where they've tried to attack their political opponent in court and dream up all these different ways of doing it. Those people need to be held to account so that it's not done again. So that people are scared to try that method again, knowing that if the other side wins, they will pay an enormous price and they won't do it. That needs to be done in this case. And so I'm very happy that Pam Bundy has been selected. And she is also, in interviews in the past, she has publicly said that this is these attempts to destroy Trump using the law, as she calls it, lawfare. She has said these people need to be held to account. So it'll be interesting to see what she does once she is nominated and takes the oath of office.
Yeah.
And but that lady in Pennsylvania needs to also be held.
I agree.
She needs to be held to account.
It's a great day in America.
Either
That's all I have to say.
I don't care if she's in jail. She needs to be significantly fined. She needs to feel some real pain, so that other people won't do it. Because what she did was absolutely ridiculous, and she cost the people, the taxpayers of Pennsylvania, millions of dollars, and the country went through something it had no need to go through, all because of her. And by the way, the guy sitting immediately next to her, he needs to go through the same thing because he voted with her. Mm-hmm. He didn't say the same thing; he just voted with her, which means that he agrees with her, and that means he also broke the law. So that needs to be done. I've got one other kind of interesting. Gary Gensler is head of the SEC.
He hates crypto,
and well, he's a strange guy in that what he tried to do. He tried to pass a regulation that actually would even regulate day traders. And he said he tried to pass the rule that was overturned by the courts. But I'm going to quote from a Wall Street Journal article: the rule redefined dealer under the securities laws to include any person whose trading activity, quote, regularly or has the effect of providing liquidity to the markets, including asset managers, hedge funds, and day traders. Now, can you imagine a person who just sits there at his computer and day trades? Now, I don't quite understand day trading, but there are people who do it.
There are some people that apparently make some money doing it.
Yeah, and they do it, and that's fine, if that's what they want to do.
Sure.
But the idea that they should be regulated by the SEC because they somehow, and all this is just another regulatory net to throw over your political opponents. Mm-hmm. Mark Levin last night on his show did a wonderful job of recounting, starting with Woodrow Wilson, mm-hmm. actually even before Woodrow Wilson, but of people using the government to attack their political opponents. He actually started with Abraham Lincoln, whose political opponents were literally trying to destroy the country as it existed. So in Abraham Lincoln's case, it probably was pretty legitimate if you believe that saving the Union was essential. But Woodrow Wilson used it to attack his political opponents. And FDR, you remember, Michael, that he tried to attack Andrew Mellon and tried to use the IRS, tried to use, all the branches of government to attack his political opposition, those who disagreed with what he wanted to do. And so this is not, and then Biden took it to an entirely different level by trying to use the court system. Of course, I think Roosevelt actually tried to use the courts against Andrew Mellon and failed.
Yes.
But this is something that's been done. It's not good, and our country has withstood every attempt thus far. And but Mark Levin had a great show last night.
I love Mark Levin.
Yes.
But he has had a tendency to shout sometimes, for good reason. I've noticed since the election, he's not shouting as much as he was before. Isn't that?
He's a very passionate guy.
He's a passionate guy. He's a good guy,
and he's smart. He is. And the thing that I like about Mark the most, and other people like him, like Victor Davis Hanson, is that
Victor doesn't shout.
He doesn't shout, but both of them base a lot of their opinions on history, and And I mean, going back in the case of Victor Davis Hanson, he goes back to the Roman Empire and starts talking about.
Well, he was a
human,
classicist.
I'm saying
he was a professor of classics.
Yeah, but he talks about how human nature doesn't change.
Yeah.
And the circumstances change, and technology changes, and the circumstances we live in change, but the way human beings react under certain circumstances. And, you know, this election proved, because we were getting to a tipping point in this country where the divisions between the pro-government people and the others.
We were close to a tipping point.
We were getting close to a tipping point.
It's all changed.
And elections allow change to take place without having to go further. And the French Revolution is an example, and the Glorious Revolution in England, and it was called the Glorious Revolution not because it was glorious. I'm not even exactly sure why they named it that, but it was in both cases the people rose up against the king, and they killed the king, and now in so doing, they killed the executive branch of their governments, and they went through a great deal of turmoil. Thank goodness, thank God that we have a system that allows voters to express themselves and get the changes without going that far.
When we come back, we'll have
News Potpourri. You bet.
You bet. Back after this.
Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's HealthyCell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back. Crom Carmichael, the original All-Star panelist, here with us. Crom, it's that time of day again. It's time for News Potpourri.
Yes, Michael. It's that time of the program for little tidbits that merit the attention of our audience, but not an entire segment and have a touch of
irony.
Yes. Michael, this is great. Headlines from the Western Journal. LeBron James quits his social media due to negativity after his attack on Trump supporters and his failed help on Kamala Harris. You know, celebrities who are known for being great athletes or great entertainers, they don't bring value to a politician.
No, they don't.
Now, but celebrities who are known for their genius
and their accomplishments,
and they do.
Yeah, like Elon Musk
or Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
They do bring them. This is
Crom,
please.
Scott Bessent, our buddy,
yes,
nominated Secretary of Treasury. The stock markets like it. This from CNBC. The U.S. stock market appeared to cheer President-elect Donald Trump's presumptive nominee for Treasury Secretary, who told CNBC earlier in November he sees an era of strong growth and lower inflation ahead. Stock market futures rose, and Treasury yields stumbled early Monday.
Yeah, and let me say this: deficits. I'm not going to say the deficits don't matter, but what matters more is the rate or decline in aggregate government spending.
Mm-hmm.
And under Trump, you're going to see a dramatic decline in spending. Now, I think you're going to see also a dramatic decline in tax. There'll be a lot of tax cuts, especially for people who work, like no taxes on tip, no taxes on overtime, and no taxes on Social Security.
Hey, let me get this one too. Let me just zip this one in. Charlie Kirk is apparently considering running for governor of Arizona. The Turning Point USA guy.
Wouldn't that be good? That would be fantastic. He is terrific. I hope they have.
You've met him, haven't you?
I've met him, and he's terrific. Turning Point was a big factor in this last election, and so if he runs for governor, losing him, I hope he has good backup. In Turning Point. Well, he's special. Let me just say, I'm not going to say he's unique, but he's special. This is an interesting headline from the Wall Street Journal. China is building 30,000 miles of high-speed rail dash that it may not need. And let me say this: when you build
central planning,
yes, it is. I mean, when you build 30,000 miles of high-speed rail, what do you have to make that asset valuable?
You got to have traffic on it. You got to have people going from A to B.
And you also have to be buying a heck of a lot of trains.
Yeah.
Then you have to maintain the trains, and then you have to maintain the tracks. And if you don't have enough people using the trains, they become a massive drain on resources. And so between what China's done on its infrastructure and the up to 90 million empty housing units, it's breathtaking what I think is going on there.
Crom, in the 110 years since the start of World War I, many of the European governments haven't learned much. Here's the latest. Apparently, the governments of France and the United Kingdom are thinking of deploying ground troops in Ukraine.
That is absolutely senseless.
It's senseless.
That is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
But once again, this is them trying to tarnish Trump. It truly is. I mean, this has more to do with Trump's election than it does anything else. This is an from Free Beacon. Lacking the votes, Schumer abandons embattled Biden judicial nominee Adil Mangi. And what he's agreed to do is, what Schumer's agreed to do, and Republicans have agreed to, is that there will be 4 openings on circuit courts that will be available to Trump to appoint judges if Republicans allow.
And the circuit courts,
they're important.
Are very important.
Yeah.
Because often, the circuit courts will take every hearing in a district court, but the Supreme Court will not take every appeals court decision.
Right.
So often an appeals court decision becomes the common law, the case law.
Right. And so in this case, what this article is saying is Republicans have allowed Schumer to get 12 judges appointed at the federal court level, not the circuit court level, in exchange for Schumer not appointing, not letting through 4 circuit court judges.
Here's a poll from CBS News conducted November 19th to 22nd on Trump's handling of presidential transition. 59% approve. 59% approve.
No, that's
what you call a mandate.
That's the point. Is that the election's one thing, but as his approval rating rises, so does his political capital.
And I think what you're seeing is he is building pretty much an ideologically diverse coalition and cabinet with a very clear and focused game plan.
Yeah, I don't know that I would describe it as ideologically diverse.
Secretary of Labor.
Well, you picked one, and out of 18.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
No, I don't see him as. I see him as very much in keeping with recognizing the government has gotten too big.
Although
if ideological, I guess what I'm.
He's a greenie though.
But that's not what he's being picked for.
I understand.
He's not being picked for head of the EPA. He's being picked.
I got you.
So he's being picked for head of Health and Human Services.
Stay out of oil.
Yeah.
Don't go near oil.
But he won't. Yeah, he won't. Cecil Richards, I think that's her name.
Mm-hmm.
Biden awarded her the Medal of Freedom, which is just breathtaking to me. I mean, you can agree and disagree on whatever you want to, but to give the head of Planned Parenthood from 2006 to 2018 the Medal of Freedom just is strange to me, but not surprising. This one is interesting. Representative Jasmine Crockett.
Oh yeah, from Texas.
Yes, yeah.
Lefty.
She was screaming
yeah.
anti-white rants at Republicans, but Republicans now are talking back.
Yeah,
they're tired of. They're no longer just going to sit there and take.
Everybody's tired of this.
Everybody's tired of this,
yeah.
And so they're going to get it right back in their face. And so, and by the way, what she says is actually wrong.
Of course,
and we'll talk about that some other day.
We'll be back.
And my last.
That's
one,
it. No, we're out of time.
Oh,
we're out of time.
It
Rob
was
Carson,
a really good one.
I'm sure it was. We'll talk about it when you're here with us next. This is it for today's Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock Central Time. I hope you have a great day. Stay tuned for Rob Carson. This is Michael Patrick Leahy. I want to say a word about my good friend Dustin Damon. Dustin is the best handyman in Middle Tennessee. Call Dustin today at 724-683-4400. That's 724-683-4400 if you have a job around the house that you just haven't gotten around to. If you're busy like me, you just may not have the time to fix that broken mailbox, repair the back porch, or get that old light fixture back to working properly. Do what I did. Call Dustin Damon today at 724-683-4400, and he will bring his truck and tools to your house and get that job done lickety-split. Dustin's main service area is Williamson County and the southern part of Davidson County. So call Dustin Damon, the best handyman in Middle Tennessee today, at 724-683-4400. Tell him you heard about him on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. The Chief Team reminds listeners here that more and more veterans will be returning home over the next few years, and many are local. These heroes have elite military training and valuable professional skills, but they also need jobs too. That's why the Chief Team is encouraging all local businesses. Let's make it the year we hire smart and hire veterans. That's from the Chief Team, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, call 931-444-3572. That's 931-444-3572 for the Chief Team in Clarksville.
The Black preaching tradition is deeply connected to gospel music.
PBS presents a new series hosted by Henry Louis Gates Jr., Gospel. Our
singers preach and our preachers sing.
Gospel is a prayer. It is our heart's cry to God in lyrics and song.
You feel it deep down in your soul.
Gospel. Streaming now on the PBS app.